Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to episode 14 of Europa Universalis IV. We are playing as England and hopefully at some point we will get to become Britain. Not too sure what's going on with this strange graphical glitch down here with our production. But anyway, what we need to be doing now that we have finished the war we were having with the French is we need to start rebuilding our armies, because we actually took quite heavy losses in the war with Brittany. Although we did manage to take most of Brittany's provinces, they are left with one. They are left with their capital, which we didn't quite have enough war score to take. We're actually doing a very good job of cutting France off from the coast, particularly over on this coast. They still have Calais, which I believe we do still have a core on there, so we could potentially take that back in a subsequent war. Hopefully with any luck we're not going to have too much problem with the AI declaring war on us right now. There may well be a coalition against us still, and in fact there is. Burgundy and France are still in a coalition with us. Now we do have quite a weak army, so there is a possibility that they could try to attack us, but we have several problems going on at the moment. We are very, very short on manpower, which means that getting to increase our army is going to be very, very difficult. Now, if we actually look over here, we can see that we have 1 regiment of cavalry and we have 5 regiments of men, but we are only showing a total of 3 because we are so undermanned. Now, I could consolidate them down and it would certainly save us some manpower and some money, but we are going to want to rebuild our army, so I'm going to leave that as it is for now. Let's unpause the game and allow things to continue. So other things that we're going to want to do, we are going to want to save up some of our administration, diplomatic and military power so we can get a few technology upgrades, because we don't want to fall behind in our technology. And at the same time we also want to try and get some more buildings up and running if possible. Now, a couple of other things that we could be doing is trying to get well, we already are friendly with Ireland, which the whole place is now currently owned by Leinster. Leinster actually control all 4... well, we still control Meath, but Leinster control the other 4 provinces in Ireland. We are friendly with them, but unfortunately we can't offer them vassalization because of the difference in tax base between us. So if we go to Alliance Actions, where is it? Offer vassalization. Must have a military alliance, have a relation of at least 190, have the same religion, and the target country must be at peace. Well, what we're going to do is we will send in a diplomat to carry on improving relations. I believe we do have an alliance. At least we did do at some point. No, we no longer have a military alliance. Well, we could certainly get that sorted out at some point. So let's go ahead and unpause the game. And again, the more allies you have, the less likely the AI is to go up against you anyway. So we'll allow it to continue to get some positive numbers for them. We are currently working on a few core constructions. We have a loan coming up. We can afford to repay it. We did take out an awful lot of loans during the war, so they are going to be expensive for us to repay. We've got another loan here that we can just about afford to repay. Puts us down to 0, so we're going to have to extend a couple more. So we did have to take an awful lot of loans out, but things will get better for us. Now, we have a technology that we can invest in, and that is actually our administrative technology. Now, this is fine because we've actually already spent a lot of the points that we need to core places, because we are coring the 3 provinces that we took from Brittany. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of the administrative points that we have and take our administrative technology up from 3 to 4. So you can see what our current level is here. It's level 3. And our next level will be level 4. Now that will actually give us national ideas. It'll give us an idea group that we can unlock. Now you see this figure here, it says -15. We actually get a 15% reduction to the amount of administrative points that this is going to cost. And that's because we have a neighbour bonus, so -15% neighbour bonus. The same goes for our diplomatic technology, and our military technology is only -10% because we're already level 4 on our military tech. So we're a little bit behind in our administrative tech and diplomatic tech. So we're going to take administrative tech level 4. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, what that now does is our technology increased to level 4. We allows another group of ideas. So what we're going to do is go into our idea groups, and we have a free slot. Now, we're going to click that free slot, and we get to pick an idea group. Now, there are 3 different types of idea groups. There are administrative ideas, diplomatic ideas, and military ideas. And most of these are the same for every nation, though there is some variation depending on whether you're Eastern Technology Group, Western Technology Group, and a couple of others that exist in the game. So, basically, each one of these, depending on which one you pick, is going to determine which of these power points that you need to spend into it, these monarch points. So, for example, if I was to pick a diplomatic, one of the diplomatic idea groups, it would cost me diplomatic power to actually upgrade it. Though diplomatic ideas is one of the ones that's very useful, and especially for the purposes of this video, I think we're going to go straight into exploration ideas, because exploration ideas allows us to get colonial ventures. It gives us +1 colonist, and that's going to allow us to start going and setting up colonies overseas. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we are going to take that idea. So that is now unlocked, and what we can do is we can spend our 400 diplomatic power and we can go over there and get 1 colonist. So let's click that. So we now have a colonist. We can see up here we are 1 of 1. We don't really have anywhere we could send that colonist at the moment. There are probably some uncolonized lands down in Africa, but we can't really get to them right now. What we could do, of course, is we could go into our military, and in order to get a Quest for the New World national idea. So it's going to take a little while before we can get there, and in fact, where are we? Oh, it's a national idea. I think it might, that particular one might actually be... I've lost it. Where we go. Quest for the New World. There. So once we actually get our next lot of diplomatic power and we can unlock a new exploration idea, we will actually be able to get ourselves an explorer. We can put him on a boat and we can go out and start looking for the Americas. We could try and settle Africa, but I think we'll try and beat everybody else over to the New World, which is going to be America, of course. So let's unpause the game and allow things to continue on. We are slowly reinforcing our soldiers that we've got here. I'm keeping my army just in this area because we do have the potential for Patriot revolts because we are coring these provinces. Now, the revolt risk is slightly lower in Amur, and that's because that's where I have my soldiers stationed. I could dump some military power and try and reduce the chance of that happening. In fact, it's always worth having a look how much heart treat... it's already... we already put harsh treatment on there, so I can't do an awful lot about that. Don't really want to spend too much of my money at this point because I am desperately trying to save up to get everything rebuilt that needs rebuilding. My ships, which is my trade fleet, are still here repairing up, so there we go. They are going off and out again. This is my transport fleet. They can't really do an awful lot other than transport units around, so I'm going to keep them there for the time being. So hopefully once we've got all of these revolts out of the way, I'm just going to speed things up a little bit again, keeping one finger over the spacebar so I can quickly pause it if anything crops up. We are coming up to the end of the year, so that is a little bit more tax income for us. The stats across the board are looking quite good. We're at +3 stability, which is the highest you can be. 97 prestige, which is only just below the top. We've got 100 legitimacy and 40 power projection. So all in all, things are quite nicely done. Almost 20% of the way through our core construction on the 3 Brittany provinces. We're going to recall our diplomat from Leinster because he has done as much as he can do. But what we are going to do as soon as we can is we are going to... no, we do still have an alliance. That's fine then. Good stuff. Now, can we offer them vassalization? They probably still won't take it. We need one more positive than negative. There we go. English base tax compared to Leinster, negative 46. English military power compared to Leinster, minus 29. So if we get more military power and we actually can put out some more money, they'll consider becoming a vassal of ours. At the minute, they're actually, because they've got 4 provinces, they're actually quite large. So we need to prove that we are more powerful, that we have a bigger army, and that we have a lot of money coming into our nation via taxes, and if we can do that, then they'll consider becoming a vassal. If not, we might have to go and take them militaristically, but we're certainly not going to do that while we have little to no manpower. So we've almost fully reinforced these regiments here, but not quite. I'm going to have a look down here because we do still have a few quite a bit of papal influence that we could spend. We've got one cardinal here that we are putting points into and doing quite well. Got another guy down here who currently is loyal to Munster. He's only got 28 papal influence spent on him at the moment. So I think we can go ahead and actually spend some on that guy. Try and get a couple of cardinals in where we can. It looks like France is still at war with Burgundy because I've just noticed here that France has sieged Artois. Obviously they're trying to connect up Calais, and Picardy will also be a French corps. It's also an English corps as well. So we could potentially take Picardy, although that does belong to Burgundy at the moment, and we don't really want to go to war with Burgundy anytime soon. We might get an opportunity to go to war with Brittany and finish off their army, because they've only got 1 province now, so they don't have an awful lot to go on. They are allied with Savoy, although I'm not particularly certain that Savoy can do an awful lot. We do have a truce, though, until 1476, so I'm not going to be able to do anything with them for about 9 years' time. And, of course, in that time, their alliances may have changed. They may be allied with somebody a little bit more powerful, so we do have to be a little bit careful here. Now, this is one of the issues with this game. Although there are certain levels of diplomacy and things that you can do in between wars, the majority of the game is focused on the warfare, and it can be a little bit a little bit boring. There's not an awful lot you can do in between wars. We have had an advisor died, which is actually our administrative advisor, and I would like to go ahead and actually get another one. It does cost us a little bit of money, but we can't really do without one. So we've got a choice of a level 1, a level 2, and a level 3. We can't afford the level 3. We can't technically afford the level 2. We don't really need the stability cost modifier because we are already at +3 stability, but it's better to have an advisor than not have one at this point, because we would like to get that extra administrative power. Just going to have a very quick look, and oh, here we go. So the last jousting tournament. So what can we do? We can forward for glory. England gets the jousting tournament until the 15th of September 1487, which is 20 years, which would give us +10 morale to our armies, +1 yearly army tradition, and +0.5 prestige. We'd lose some admin power and lose some ducats, or we could lose 5 prestige. Although I can't see us going to war again in the next 20 years, losing 60 ducats and 30 admin power to have stronger armies for 20 years is definitely the way to go. So let's go ahead and do that. And we can actually see it here on the government page. You can actually see all of the country's modifiers. So we've got the national epic that gives us +1 yearly prestige. That runs out in 1477. And we've also got the last jousting tournament, which is the event we just accepted, which gives us all those bonuses that we talked about up until the 15th of September 1487. There was something that I did want to have a quick look at over here, and I can't remember what it is now. Inflation is going up. That's mainly because we have taken out some loans. Can't really do an awful lot about that at the moment. We'll have to repay the loans as they come. Missions. We do have a mission. Recruit more soldiers into our standing army. What's the objective? Total army size of at least 75% of your force limit. We will get there at some point. We could reduce our war exhaustion, but we don't really need to. We're not currently at war, and it is going to come down. There is the potential of some patriots, the Breton patriots, who want to defect to Brittany. We're going to use harsh treatment if we can. Can we actually use any harsh treatment on them? Don't think we can at this point. We should be okay, though. It's not going to be too much of a problem right now. Let's just have a look at our military. Still got a couple of leaders. One that we're not actually using, but I don't think we're paying extra for him. I think we can sustain 2. Yep, 2 of 2, so that is fine. So let's allow things to carry on. We are going to start getting manpower back now because we're not trying to reinforce so many armies. This unit is now actually up to its full strength at this point, which is really good. Even though we still only have 6 regiments, we are going to need to produce some more. So let's go ahead and get ourselves another infantry. We're actually coring here, so we can't produce one there, but we can produce a couple over here. Well, in fact, we don't have quite enough money. We've got another advisor that has just died as well. Our diplomatic advisor has now died. Again, we can only really afford the level 1 advisor, but he does actually give us global tariffs plus 10%. So your tariffs is basically the tax you get in from your sort of colonial nations and vassals and things like that. Mainly the colonial nations, which we don't have any at the moment because we haven't really colonized, but that would eventually give you more money coming in. In fact, if we actually have a look at our trade overview, and we can see our tariffs, yeah, we've got 10%, but we've got nothing coming in because we have no colonies, so we don't it's not actually done anything for us, except given us another diplomatic advisor back. So I don't generally like to run this game on anything above speed 3 because something nearly always catches you out if you do so. But we're coming up to the end of December again, so there's almost another year past. We can invest in a cardinal, but I think we'll leave it on as it is. And hopefully we'll be able to get these provinces cored before we get too many issues, too many problems. I would like to be able to get up somewhere close to my force limit, but that is going to be difficult. Not so much with the lack of manpower at the moment. It's mainly down to the lack of cash. But there we go. We have another unit. We're going to move that in and merge them up. The stronger we make this army, the more chance it has of being able to deal with any revolts that pop up. So Comet has been sighted, and this is one of the events that I absolutely hate in this game because you get peasants are always superstitious, and the appearance of a comet in the sky has caused panic among our people. They are convinced that this is a sign the end of times is near, or that something bad is going to happen in the near future. We've got 3 options. It's an omen, lose 1 stability. The end is nigh, lose 1 stability. The economy falls, lose 1 stability. So basically, it's a random event that means we lose 1 stability. And there's absolutely nothing we can do about it, which is a real pain. Don't really have the admin power to boost it up. And I do hate random drops in stability, but at least England's events for random drops are nowhere near as bad as the ones you get with someone like Castile. I think we still have a few loans that we need to pay off, which we can see in our economy tab. If we mouse over our repay loan, we have 25 loans. We have 1,902 ducats in debt. So I'm not going to be spending too much money. I can see we've actually got some Breton noble rebels have actually popped up there in Brittany. Now, what do they want and who are they going to try and flip? Maybe they're going to try and flip up and change over to France. It's quite possible. We'll keep our eye on them, see what happens. They may come this way, so it is going to make sense for us to try and get at least another unit or 2. Let's get another cavalry. They are quite expensive, but we are going to need some cavalry just in case, because we only currently have 1 cavalry regiment there. Once these guys have sieged out Brittany's only province, they may move into our borders, which is where we do have to be a little bit careful. So it'll all take a little bit of time. So just having a quick look around the map, see what is going on. See, Scotland are starting to rebuild their army. Still quite small. Looks like there's some rebels up there on the Orkney Islands as well. But they're currently owned by Norway, so hopefully Norway will come out and do something to deal with them. Now, I don't want to have to keep extending the loans, because extending the loans is going to increase the inflation, and inflation isn't something that you want to increase because it makes everything more expensive over time. But at the same time, I do need to make sure that I keep a good army to deal with any revolts. So let's go ahead and get ourselves another infantry, and in fact we can afford 2, so let's go ahead and do that. The loans will just have to wait. Going bankrupt isn't something that is really a big problem in this game, so I'm not too bothered about the loans. Because you can take out so many of them, I think we're going to be fine for the time being. I'm more worried about rebels, because the problem is If rebels actually come into one of these provinces and successfully manage to siege the province, I will lose all of my current progress on the core construction. And that is a loss of a lot of time and also the loss of a lot of administrative power. So they have managed to siege out Loire, and it looks like Brittany accepted their demands, whatever it was. So that's not too much of a problem for us there. And we've got the rest of our infantry. Still looks like there's some issues going on over here between Burgundy and France. You guys have all arrived. Let's just have a look what is going on here. Yeah, Burgundy and France are still fighting each other. And who is winning? Attacker against Burgundy in the French conquest of Cambrai. So the French initiated the war, and they have a minus 14.8 war score. So the French aren't actually doing very well in this particular battle. So let's move you guys in. You're going to group together. That's slightly more reassuring now that I do have a bit of a bigger army there. So we're up to 10 regiments. Our force limit is 41, so we're nowhere near there. We're going to have to get to sort of 30, 31 regiments before we manage to complete our current quest or our current mission. So what we might do is we will go ahead and just see if we can afford, not many, it's mainly manpower that we're having the issues with, try and get a few more regiments built over on the mainland as well. Okay. So we have the Muscovy Trade Company, and we only get one option here. England gets the Muscovy Trade Company until the 2nd of January 1821, which is basically the end of the game, giving the following effects. National Trade Income Modifier 1%. So great. So basically we get an event there that gives us 1% additional trade for the rest of the game. So that isn't too much of a bad thing. So we are starting to rebuild our army now. We're still working towards getting our cores down here on Brittany. We are still also working to grow to integrate Leinster. It's going to take a little while before we get up to that point, and we haven't been attacked by the AI yet, but I think that's probably a good place to end this video. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying Europa Universalis IV, and I'll see you on the next video. Until then, goodbye for now.